Well, hey, hello, hi, everybody. It's Secondhand Dan coming to you from a toasty Florida land here in Homosassa on January 25th. It's like 81 degrees right now at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I know a large portion of the country, you're dealing with the cold, deep cold. I know back where I fled the burg, Pittsburgh, I think it's like in the teens. So here I'm up to my ankles in sunshine. So anyway, what's up is I'm going to tear something apart, break it down. I'm going to tear into 2 power saws and scrap them out because they've got no other value. Now, I picked these up at the auction like 2 weeks ago, and you know, I was proud of myself. I think I had 10 bucks into the pair. Well, the Hitachi has a blade on it, and I plugged it in. It didn't sound too happy, but it kept cutting. I must have made about 2 dozen or so cuts on it, and then it cut out and won't come back on. So, and this Black & Decker next to it, professional, so I don't know why I have it, but there's no blade on it. But I said, okay, the Hitachi quit, let's plug in the professional Black & Decker. I bought them both together. One bid bought them both. So I plugged the Black & Decker in, and it did nothing. Big fat 0. So, you know, I'm not too upset with that. Like I say, something to do here, keep me busy, scrapping them out, see how they work. I actually have a Hitachi, I think 12-inch in my shed. It was like new. I bought it at the flea market, but it turned out it was missing a bolt or two, so it wanted to flop over. Whenever you wanted to set it on 0 or set the miter, it would flop over because it was missing a part. But I went online, got the part. I think I didn't get all the parts because there was an adjuster knob where you could actually dial the angle with the knob. But what's important is I got the bolt, and I can set the angle myself and then tighten the bolt up and it'll lock it in place. So it's good to go. This here Hitachi, the blade is good, so that's what I thought. Well, maybe I'll just put the blade on the professional, but never got that far, seeing that the professional didn't work. It was nice having a chop saw set up out here on top of this little table saw. This little table saw, I think it's a sick unit too. It sounds pretty nasty, but I think I paid $10 for it last year, and I got some use out of it. So, but I still have the big beast, the Grizzly. That works on 220. It's plugged into my power box over there, and it works real good. I've had it advertised. Like I said, I bought it last year. I had to wrap it up. I can't put it in the shed. It's too big. It's too heavy. So I wrapped it up. It was already coated with rust when I bought it. So I can't tell if it's gotten any rustier or not, but it works fine. It hums. So I'm good to go there. So I've got a table saw, and I've got a cutoff saw that works. So we're going to tear these apart, scrap them out, separate the aluminum from the copper. I think I need the cores, although this cord here is although it's functional, unless you want to actually put another plug on it. It doesn't look kosher. So let me set one up and start tearing into it. Now this here is one of my popular places to work. I'm right in front of the shed. I got sawhorses here. In fact, I picked up a pair of sawhorses at an auction. But check these out. $7. No, well, $7.50. I got the pair. Okay. Wooden I-beams. And they stack, which is nice, real nice and neat. And they're fresh. No rot on them. That's why I keep the tarp over them. I don't want them to get rained on and start rotting, although rain is far from being in the forecast lately. We actually need some rain down here. We've got the no burn ban going on, and that's been since I pulled into this place over a month ago. So my pile of wood and shrub material keeps getting bigger. I cheated a little bit. I burned some cardboard the other day. It was just looking too cluttery around here. I knew the cardboard would burn quick and be out quick, so I burned a couple of boxes and things like that. So I need to get a slab on top of these sawhorses, so I have a table. Let me go get the slab. All right, piece of 3/4 inch plywood. That's going to work wonders. I tried to be cute with the thumbnail and said, see my seesaw. So, my saw seesaw. All right, which one should we do first? Eeny, meeny, no. Let's just do the one that's closest to us, the Hitachi. That looks the most interesting. Now, the part that I had to replace on my other Hitachi was this item here. I need 2 hands, hold on. Oh, no, that's right, it's reverse thread. That's why I just couldn't put a bolt in the other one when I found out it was missing the means to lock it down. And the guy that I bought it from, I actually had his phone number, and he refused to take it back. And, you know, I didn't expect that, because he seemed like it was a decent fella. You know, we seem to have the same morals and values and politics, but he's like, well, maybe you lost it. No, I didn't lose it. I just didn't know, you know, it's not every day you buy a chop saw. So anyway, this is what was missing from the other one. So I don't know if I paid like $15 or something to get it sent to my place of residence here. It was a left-handed thread, so I couldn't just buy a bolt. So just for laughs, we could plug it in one more time. What do you say? Because it's funny how, well, it was working and then it stopped working, but it sounded nasty. I can't reach the extension. My electricity, I'd have to unplug the shed, and then I'd have to carry this over there. I don't want it over there. So, all right, well, I've got some new DeWalt tools. Let's go grab them and see if they don't tear this thing up. Okay, I brought out some artillery. I have my DeWalts here. I've been running with these 18 volts down here. Back in Pittsburgh, I have the 20 volts. So I'm inclined to switch up to the 20 volts down here in Florida. This is the 3/8 impact gun. And what I've done with it is I put the adapter on it so that I can use the bits in it. Whereas they do make a DeWalt that you take the bits directly into it. But I'm not sure if, I mean, I've got one back at home that's a 20 volt that takes the bits directly in it. But this is the 18 volt. And this little guy, or his brother here, is starting to smoke when I put, and it smells toasty. They're both the same model. I don't know whether they, oh, a 825. No, one's an 826. So I don't know what the difference between an 825 and an 826. Looking at the exterior, they look identical. So if you can tell me in the comments, let me know. All right. I thought, well, maybe this one won't smoke. So I'm going to drop the other one off at the auction. Somebody might need it for parts. This one sounds better. But like I I said, if I eventually get totally away from the 18-volt tools, maybe I'll start selling them on Marketplace. Will I need another one that takes a bit, or will this be the way to go? Notice I went with the brushless. They got so many options. You got brushless, and then you got just plain brushless, then you got the XR model. So I made sure XR is supposed to be even better than brushless, but I don't think I'll ever buy a non-brushless one again. So this one was kicking butt. So 3/8, I do have the 1/2 inch, it's in my truck. They came together as a purchased pair. Okay, well, it's been a couple hours since I did no video. The battery started going dead, so I had to go and recharge. The sun's starting to go down. I'm not sure, and I held off on doing the work so as to get it on video, so not sure how much I'm going to get done before the sun actually disappears, but let's go for it. We're going to take this unit apart. I had actually put my tools away because I wasn't sure I'd be getting back to it this evening. It was late afternoon when I started, but now it's, quote, this evening. All right, getting out the D-wall 1/2 inch impact with a tin full of driver bits. Okay, well, I guess I see some Phillips screws. These are pretty nice. I recommend these, you know. You can go with the socket directly on here and then stick your bit in the socket, but it always likes to fall out of the socket. And plus, it's kind of close to the gun. I like having that little bit of length there. All right, I'm looking for a Phillips. Here's a square bit. Here's a Phillips. You know, I'm going to break it down and probably just throw it in the garbage can as I go. I'm sure there's somebody out there somewhere that says, "Dag, I could use some parts off of that," but it ain't worth me trying to part it out on the internet or anything like that. I parted out toy sets that I bought, you know, vintage toy sets where you sell maybe just the people, just one of the buildings, just one of the cars. That's worked out for me, but I can't imagine trying to part a Hitachi out and say, you know, a pistol grip cover, you know, give me $10. One thing, even if somebody wanted it and would pay the $10, it ain't worth the time and effort for me to put it on there. But these are Phillips screws. They're in the plastic. Try not to drop them because you never know when your tire may actually cross this path. At work, at the Dudley's auction, we have a roller with a magnet on it. And I was running around the parking lot with that the other day, cleaning up stray screws and nails. I don't think anybody had done it in a while, so I probably got at least a pound of them. Now, I know when it comes to things like this cord, some people will actually take the time and throw it on a pile of wire, and eventually they'll go and cash in their wire. And that's a good thing to do if you're constantly, you know, breaking things down, but I'm not. So something like this cord, I'll probably just end up throwing it in the trash. I actually need some wire cutters to set it free. Oh, the last thing I was going to do before the battery went dead, I may as well go ahead and do it now, and that was to show you what happened to myself a couple of hours ago. If you want to see my earlier video, I'm working on installing kitchen counter, sink bowl, and cabinets underneath it. So I could continue in that. The project's kind of sort of nearing completion, but I wasn't sure there was enough interest in it to do it. But so I'm kind of probably just let it go. I think I got at least, was it 2 or 3 videos about that. But anyway, here's what happened. I was trying to screw down the countertop to the cabinets so the countertop doesn't slide all around on top of the cabinets. And I was trying to run the drill up through one of the front of the cabinets, pull the drawer up. And I managed to run the drill through the cabinet and into my fingertip. So it was an 1/8 inch bit. So the good news is I think I only went an 1/8 inch into my finger. Didn't hit bone. And I haven't done anything like that in a long time. We're talking like, I don't know, it seems like it's been like 10 years since I've injured myself through my own fault. So hopefully there is enough of a lesson learned there. I'll be a little more cautious for the next 10 years. Or 20 years. I don't want to ever hurt myself again, is the bottom line. Oh, I was looking for this screw. Thought it fell on the ground. I'm getting tired of saving all the hardware from everything I take apart, so I've been throwing it out lately. Taking off the grip here, that's for carrying it around. Into the trash, scum queen. The idea here is just to break it down. Just because I can. And hopefully I'll learn something in this venture of tearing it apart. I mean, so there's a little quest for knowledge in doing this. But it's interesting, even if I don't learn much more than what I already know. I did take electrical wiring and motor control in my high school years. So it's not like this is totally foreign to me. Okay, well, let's take off the motor cover. This is pretty slick working with this 1/2 inch impact rather than an actual bit driver. Now I can't say that I recommend this over the bit driver tool. I haven't enough time doing this with it to say one way or the other. Okay, well, there's some copper windings in there. Now, if you take something like this to the scrap yard, they'll expect you just to throw it on the pile of tin, and you'll get a what's known as tin price. But if I take this armature and this the windings, I think I'll get scrap motor weight value for it. Now the armature looks kind of toasty. Let me give you a close-up on it. I mean, would a sanding of that have just cleaned it up? I don't know. But I'm really not losing anything by scrapping this unit out rather than seeking to repair it. Here I am cutting wires. Check out my short on, I lifted it from the internet, but it's about a couple Brits during World War II trying to defuse a bomb, and they're cutting wires. And I wasn't sure what to expect if I kind of, what is it, lift a video like that and post it. Because I know people do similar things. They repost memes and videos and even sections of television shows. So, and the funny thing is, it's got like 900 views in 24 hours. And it wasn't even a very good recording. I just held the phone up to the TV. All right, well, here's a micro switch that came out of it. And that's your on-off switch. But there again, I'm not saving it. Oh, rim shot, missed it. Okay. I guess I should save the blade on this thing. Let's pull this pin here, and that'll lift up the... Come on. There we go. Because the blade was cutting, I'm not sure how well, but it could be a half-life on it. I don't remember it having an issue cutting through the wood. You know, like issue, I said, it's like the thing just sounded nasty when I was running it, and then it said it just quit. Even when I banged it and advanced the blade some, nothing was getting it going again. So, like I said, I got $5 in it. So, and I had been keeping it outside under a tarp. It was very convenient to have it there. I thought, oh, this is going to work out good, but it died on me. So now I've got, like I said, another Hitachi inside, and it's not going to sit outside. Okay, what am I doing here? Let's get the right socket. That's a 11. We're getting down to 10, huh? Okay, I gotta pull the driver bit holder off of here. Put on my 10mm. We just might make the teardown on this one before it gets totally dark. Okay, is there a stop pin? Well, I guess I can just hold on to the armature. Oh, I think it must be left-hand thread. Not sure what I did there. I am. There we go. Left-hand thread. Okay, I'll hang on to the blade. I don't see a lot of burn on it or anything like that, and hang on to the retainer. Okay, let's get this cover out of the way. Go back to the bit driver, which was holding Phillips. Now, like I said, it was 80 degrees for a high today, 82, somewhere up there, and it started feeling a bit humid. So about an hour ago, I closed the doors on the home and turned on the AC. This is a Hitachi C10 FCE, so the 10 is probably no doubt 10-inch. Okay. Oh, I didn't expect that. The armature is attached to, or a gear. So it's not direct drive. So when I'm turning this one direction, I can feel the arbor spin in the other direction. So I guess you get a little more torque that way. But oh, here's the stopper. All right. Let's see, a screw there. I'm sure it's going to uncover. Now there's a second screw. Probably bearing under there. Okay. Well, I don't know how that's going to release the armature, though. We're to the point where I see no screws or bolts that would be holding this armature in place. And it's going to make no sense to hammer on the arbor here because, like I said, there's gears in there, so it's not going to send the armature out. So I'm thinking we're at the point where things are press fit. Bearing still runs smooth. Feels a little dry, but it doesn't, not gritty though. Now I know the armature, I said, it has doesn't look very healthy in the where the brushes were riding, but I took the brushes out and then I checked them out, and they looked like they were still ample amount of brush there. And I even stretched the spring just a hair, and still nothing. No effort at all on it to take off and run. So I want that armature. Let's see, where's my crowbar? There it is. I do get crows here. I'm going to try to coax a crow, and I heard you can make friends with them. So I thought that'd be interesting. Maybe make friends with a wild crow. I know you can make enemies with them. They said they're like elephants. They don't forget. If you tick them off for some reason, they'll hold it against you. Like I said, between the armature and the coils here and the base, it's all decent scrap. This goes to the aluminum. But right now it would be considered dirty aluminum unless I get all this hardware off of it. And I'm looking at this armature, and I don't know how to get it free. There's nothing in the way of a retainer back there. I'm pretty sure this video is... Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure this video is going to have to come to a close soon, as it is getting darker by the moment. I mean, come on, Hitachi. If I was a certified Hitachi repair shop, how would I be pulling this armature out? There's some, I see another, yeah, there's another pair of screws there. Maybe that will somehow release it. What's the difference between a screw and a bolt when they, this is, I suppose, is a machine screw. And the other things I took out were, I think I threw them all away. They were pointed. Yeah, like this one. That's a typical screw. Okay, now that I've released those two bolts here, is there some sort of retain? Does this thing spin? Look at that. Is it unscrewing? It's not unscrewing. I think it's just rotating. So I have to give it a gentle wacka wacka. Hey, that's working. Wacka wacka wacka. There's that gear. I told you the armature has a gear on the end of it. Okay, well, as easy as that was to take out, I don't see how that's going to make the armature come out. My ultimate project, I do have a Wisconsin gasoline engine. I would like to rebuild it. Oh, I'm wiggling and I'm starting to see a bearing working its way out. There it is. So I'm pretty sure I can throw that in the electric motor pile and get whatever price they pay for electric motors. Okay. Now we're down to the base. The ace of base. Well, let's see if I can get the windings out of here. Yeah, there's some Phillips screws in there. Come on. Now, what do you call this? Is that a bolt or a screw? Or is it a bolt screw? A screw bolt. Because it has a hex head on it, but also has a screw slot in it. There comes the windings. Okay, well, they came out flush with the case. Now the question is, how do I get it out the rest of the way? Because let me try bopping the back of it. Well, something fell out. Plastic retainer. Oh, so the windings haven't dropped out. It was just that retainer that got close. So the windings are still pretty much set in place down in there. Okay. Now the windings are closer to coming out. Normally, oh, okay, there's a lead in there down inside that's clipped to the brush housing. So one on each side, so I'd have to separate those. Gotcha. Okay. Come on, windings. There's somebody doing some target practice. Here come the windings. Here come the windings. Look at that. Okay. Drop that over there with the armature. And let's go for the 2-point shot here. Oh, off the rim. Not bad considering I'm holding the camera up with one hand. So. Now, if I had to put this thing back together to save my life, I'd be sweating bullets. I mean, I've now, because a lot of screws are in the trash, I cut wires, but hey, I'm sure I could do it if it really meant something like, hey, there's $1 million, you can get that thing back together and running. I've got a package I have to ship off eBay tomorrow. I sold a Holley 4-barrel carburetor. Look me up on eBay. Auction Boss is the seller name that I go by. But I sold an old carburetor. You know, it's for partial rebuild. And I dropped the screw. Doubt I'll see it again. But I at least like to take one effort before I say it's not there. I lost a wood screw today underneath a flight of steps. I was mounting the bird feeder, and I lost a nice long wood screw. So I looked, said, okay, enough of the looking, just go get another one. I'm interested. Let me take a view. It's getting dark, so let me come around here and see what you might be seeing. Now, this makes it look lighter than it actually is. Because on the other side of the camera, it feels darker than what the lens is seeing. All right, well, into the trash. Another off the rim onto the ground. Yeah, there's a lot of target practice goes on around here. I assume they're shooting at a target, but I thought ammo was expensive. I don't know how they can keep doing that because I hear it a couple times a week. Couldn't do that where I come from in Pittsburgh. All right, well, I see some more Phillips screws. I went out for dinner, if you want to call it that, while I had my phone recharging. I just went down to the 7-Eleven and picked up a slice of pizza. Came with a complimentary hair on it. Because that was after I was 2 miles down the road and it was half eaten. Ugh. Not sure what's happening here. I took 2 screws out and something's very floppy, but it's still not letting go. I think there's another screw that it pivots on. Is that Phillips? No, it was just hooked over. It was a stud. This thing was hooked over it. It's got the gauge on it, so the degrees of angle your saw is at. Okay, got a little bolt into the garbage can, but I can't seem to get the big plastic thing in there. There's a big bolt on the back of this thing. It's so big that, the socket fits it. There, come on over and take a look. It's amazing how much lighter this looks in the camera than it does with my own eyes. I know these aren't impact sockets, but the torque isn't that great on some of the things I'm taking apart, so. There's that left-hand thread. No, it's not left-hand thread. Okay, we took that arm off. Ooh. Can take this fence off. Nobody here is going to take offense. Although I started out with the 2 saws, suggesting I'd be tearing them both apart, but because of the battery going dead in the phone and darkness is upon us, I think this is going to be a 1 saw video. I think I'll keep this bolt if I can get it back out of the socket. What the heck? Take the socket off the tool, thread the socket with the bolt back into the hole, then pull up, and there it is. Yeah, it's a nice bolt. Okay, we got to take it up a size. Bolts have Loctite on them. Okay, took 2 bolts off and nothing came off. On that big nut that I took off the back holding that arm on, there was a nut on the other side. Okay, well, I took 2 bolts off. What were they holding? Well, it's getting dark. I know you probably see better than what I can see. But looking through this, I'm gonna have to say goodnight. I got a little bit of a cleanup here. Don't want to leave my tools out overnight. Don't mind leaving the saw out overnight. We do tend to get the dew settles very often down here. And God forbid they are pop-up rain showers too. So like I said, we need the rain, but it's really not in the forecast. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. This is Secondhand Dan saying, see you later. Like and subscribe and thumbs up and all that good stuff. Thanks, guys, gals, and everybody else. Bye.